Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to talk about how you can make big bucks wholesaling your first deal. A lot of people think that wholesaling might not be real, but I have a situation, or I have actually someone that is in my program that made $40,000 on their first deal, and I'm going to show you, and we're going to break down exactly how he did it. Tune in. Before we dive into how Nick got $40,000 on his first wholesale deal, let's talk about my free Facebook group and how I want to invite you to join, because it's a great community. We have free resources in there, and it's a great place to be a part of if you're trying to grow in your real estate journey. So I want to invite you, check it out, Painless Flipping. Just type that in Facebook and in the Facebook search bar, and you're in. Just join. So let's talk right now about how you can make big bucks on your first wholesale deal, just like Nick did. He made $40,000. That's right, $40,000 on his first deal. Now, a lot of people here might be like, what? Are you serious? A lot of people don't even make $40,000 in a year. So right now we're going to show you exactly the breakdown, how he got it done, you know, what happened, how he found the buyer. It's a case study. I'm going to break it all down for you right here in this video, but I want to let you know that this is for real. My first deal, I made $5,000. Okay, so he really crushed it on his first deal. And he also told me, which is really cool, you're going to see, that he had other buyers that were willing to pay him, you know, $15,000, $20,000. So he wasn't going to make that big of a spread. Obviously 15 and 20 is great, but he was going to settle for like 15 and 20. But then he found another buyer through a strategy I teach that was able to pay $40,000. He just found a better buyer through a strategy, again, that I teach, you're going to see in the video. So check it out, see how he was able to do it on his first deal, guys. This is not a joke. He hasn't done any other deals. This is, I know, because I've been coaching him and showing him how to do it. So let's dive in. Tell me what you think, leave a comment, and let's dive in. You just did your first deal for $40,000, right?
Yeah, man. Yep.
Does it feel real?
No, not at all.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
And basically we want to dive into your experience as a real estate investor, how you got into this, break down how that deal happened and your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. And so everyone that's listening can learn from your experience and avoid the pitfalls, maybe and learn how they can make 40K on their first deal too. I didn't make 40K on my first deal, but maybe they can, you know, everyone's listening.
Yeah. Yeah. So it started when I started hearing about wholesaling was in my senior year of college at the start of it. So I'm down here in South Carolina, went to Coastal Carolina, and I was hearing all this wholesale stuff. I'm like, oh man, there's guys getting in so young. I see 18, 19, 20-year-old guys doing it, showing what they're making off of it and how successful they are with it. I'm like, oh, no kidding. So then I started, watching some YouTube videos. Obviously, Jerry Norton's was a big one I started watching on.
Right.
And following some basic stuff. I would go out there and look on Zillow. Zillow was basically my best friend. I'd go out there, just look for sale by owner properties, anything on market, and kind of just get used to, going through deals and, calling, talking to agents that I'd never talked to before.
Was it difficult to kind of start having those conversations, especially not knowing?
Yeah, no, it was, phone, what is that, being scared of phone talk? It's real.
Yeah,
it's definitely real. And I've always had an outgoing personality. I've always been able to talk to people face to face, but over the phone, it's weird. You'd think it'd be the complete opposite. You'd think it'd be way easier. Now it's kind of a little bit more difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How I experienced it.
Maybe because you can't see like their gestures or like how they're reacting. Maybe it's
Right.
a little like you don't know how it's going.
Right. So I realized, in this game, a lot of it's, talking around connections, getting, building, getting your name out there, telling people what you do, what your services are, and then, you help out agents, they'll help out you. Is what I look at it.
100%. Yeah. It's all about getting your name out there and letting people know what you do, because there's a lot of people within your sphere of influence that you can work with. So let's talk. So that was how you got started. It was college. And then did you get started while your last year of college, or were you just starting to learn? And then when did you start taking action?
I was starting to learn, and then I started taking action 2021, winter of 2021, I believe. That's when I actually started going out. I would do driving for dollars, do all that, do anything to get my first deal. Meanwhile, at this time, I had no clue how to exactly construct a deal at all. My whole thing was, I'm just going to go find a deal and see what happens, and then go to help on Facebook.
Right.
Is kind of what I was, that was my mindset.
And I think that's probably where we originally got connected, was Facebook, right?
Yeah. Then I got connected with you. I saw you actually messaged me from another group. I believe it was Wholesaling Houses Full Time.
Oh.
And you messaged me to come join your group. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come join this group.
That's
And
right,
then
brother.
and join your mentorship program and learning a whole lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow, it's
Yep.
crazy how things escalate or not escalate, but like happen like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me, let's talk about this deal. You're taking action. I know you're calling agents. You're calling to find buyers, like I was showing you. Tell me how this deal happened.
So this deal actually happened just through word of the mouth.
Okay.
I had friends at home who knew what I was doing. They knew kind of that I was investing in real estate and helping. A lot of people thought I was flipping at the start, but then they realized, I'm doing this new thing called wholesaling. And a lot of people don't know what that is.
Right.
Believe it or not, a lot of professionals in real estate who've been in it for 20 years plus don't even know what it is. I
Right.
mean, I usually have to explain it to someone new at least once a week.
Right.
So this deal actually came across an old friend of mine. He pretty much reached out to me, was like, "Hey Nick, listen, my mom, she has dementia now. She's going to a assisted living facility, and I need help with the house. Big house. It's what he grew up in." I was like, "Okay, I'll see what I can do." And he's like, "I don't have time. He's a police officer. He's very busy." And I said, "Okay, I can definitely help you out and get the ball rolling, and hopefully we can work together." So he didn't want to list. I told him to. I was like, "Listen, listing is going to be a lot more process. You're not going to sell as fast as you want to unless you maybe consider going down my path about
Right.
what I'm about to tell you." So he was all open for it. So
So
then
you told them, because a lot of people are like, "Whoa, are you sure you want to?" Other people are like, should you tell them? Should you not? I always tell them, yeah, list it because you're going to make the most. It
yeah.
looks like you did the same thing. Great job.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the fact that he's busy, he needs to sell, he needs to help take care of his mom, then he probably would have ended up listing it.
Right.
But circumstances, wholesaling, we want to reach out to motivated people who need to sell fast and easy. That's the big thing. And he was one of them who were connected matched all the points to it.
Mhm.
And excuse me, he needed to sell. So I told him, listen, this is what I can do for you, and hopefully we can get you out of this situation. So at that point, I went straight into analyzing the deal.
Okay.
Got pictures of the house. My parents live right down the street, and I had my dad go take pictures of the house for me.
There you go. There you go.
Daddy-o came in clutch for that.
Would you call him Cat Daddy-o?
No, I just said Daddy-o came in
Oh,
clutch.
Daddy. Oh, Daddy-o. Okay. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. So then at that point, this is a fairly suburban neighborhood, very, very nice neighborhood. I mean, I
Mhm.
grew up in it, and people were starting to move out. So there were some pretty juicy comps in that area that
Good,
were
yeah.
sold in the last 6 months.
Mhm.
So I had some good numbers to work with. It wasn't one of those things where I had to dive deep into finding a good comparable for it.
Those are
And
the
to
best.
calculate it, like I didn't have to do really anything to calculate the ARV.
Okay.
So then once I calculated that, it came out to close to, I was calculating around 650. And then I called an agent who actually sold 2 properties there this year in that same development.
Good
And I
job.
told him to go, I said, "Hey, I got this property. I'm getting ready to put it under contract. I was wondering if you could do your own due diligence on it, run by it, and we can work together. Maybe whoever I assign it to will flip it with you. I'll recommend you to them." And then,
Nice.
just connecting all the
Great job.
resources.
Networking skills on point right there.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So he did his due diligence and he came back to me and he's like, "Hey man, this property is worth, I mean, if it's fixed up, 740,
Wow.
750." So my numbers were a little off, but in a good way. I mean, he told me,
Yeah.
this is how much it's worth, and it was a good neighborhood. The house was taken care of. It probably only needed max 40,000 in repairs, basic cosmetics, flooring,
Yeah.
paint, maybe
Update
cabinets.
it.
That's about it. Yeah, just a basic update. See, if it were me and I was there, I would have tried to flip it myself
Of course.
and
Yeah.
maybe wholesale it or something like that.
Mhm.
But that's not the case. I'm in Myrtle Beach, so that's not happening.
Yeah.
So then at that point, I used your lovely contract, had that filled out, sent it over to the
Easy,
seller.
right? Easy.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah,
Yep.
very
Had
simple.
it. We agreed on a price. We agreed he wanted to get around 500 for it. Negotiated down to 475. So that was our price. That was
Okay.
our bullseye. And then at
When
that
you were
point,
negotiating it, did you already kind of have an idea of a buyer in place, or were you just
yeah. So before, I was definitely doing your method. I was reaching out to buyers I have in that area
okay?
and having them look at it and see if they'd be interested. And there was a ton of interest. I mean, I had about 5+ buyers that were very interested in it, and that wasn't even posted deal. I didn't even post it on Facebook or anything. Like, I mean, I can't imagine how many more interest I would have got if I posted in some groups on Facebook and whatnot.
Right.
And so from that point, I had some buyers go walk through. I had 2 or 3 buyers walk through it, and they all wanted it. I had 3 that wanted it. One of them, I had 2 of them they offered me around $585 for it, and then I had that one come in at $515, offer $515 for it, and pretty much he said he's going to live in it. He's going to end up living in the house.
Did you say 585 or 485?
Wait,
you said 2 came in at 585, but do you mean 485?
Yeah, 485.
Yeah. Is that 585?
No, not that big a spread.
That would have been wild, right? Okay, so you had someone. Wow, you had 2 at 485, and then you had 1 at 515. So that what is that, like 20, 30 more than the other people?
Yeah, just about. And I had a couple people come in only offering 490. I'm sorry, 480. So I would have made $5K on it, which is fine. I mean,
yeah, but dude, 40 versus 5. Come on, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then at that point, I was like, okay, now I got something. So I ended up sending in the contract to a title company. Got it under contract. We did 14-day due diligence, which was just fine, and we did closing right like 2 weeks after.
Dude, great job. And so how did you find that ultimate buyer that paid that you assigned it to?
I actually found him through a mutual friend who was also an agent in that area.
Wow.
He's got a lot of connections in that area as well. So he helped out with bringing that buyer in.
Did he get a commission as well, or did he just?
I paid him a commission.
Cool.
So
such a good buyer. Why not? Right?
Yeah. I mean, he did it. I mean, he handled bringing the buyer to the property, walking through with them, finding out what they want, and then it worked out. It was supposed to be a cash purchase, so he wanted to finance a little bit of the deal. So I used my ChatGPT, asked them what I should do, and then based off your coaching and your training sessions, I had an addendum signed, and then I had some terms, purchase with the option to finance.
Okay.
So got that signed and then sent in. So it all went really smooth. I mean, there could have been a lot of hiccups in it.
Yeah. But so did he end up getting a normal loan on it, or did he do cash?
No, he put a majority of it cash down.
Okay.
And then he got funding for a small amount of it.
Interesting.
So yeah, it was just, and then he's planning on living in it for now and flipping it.
Well, those are your best buyers, the ones that are willing to live in there while they fix it. They pay top dollar, as you can see with the other guys that came in lower. Right. So I want to say something, let everyone know that's watching this or that will watch this, is it's about finding the best buyer, right? Because you just explained to us that majority of people came in at 490, 485. So you're making like a 10K, 15K, but then through your networking skills, through reaching out to people in your sphere, you're able to find someone that paid, instead of getting 10 or 15K wholesale fee, which is good, you made 40 because you were really resourceful. Amazing.
Right.
If you like that information, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more information like this.